Have you been thinking about making the move down to South Carolina and don't want to live right near the beach but want to be close by? Well, today we're going to discuss Conway, South Carolina and the pros and cons of living there. Let's get started. What's happening, guys? It's Jeremy Blanton with RE/MAX Southern Shores, and today I wanted to discuss the 5 pros and the 5 cons of living in Conway, South Carolina. The first one that I want to discuss is probably one you've heard me mention before in this channel, and that is that when you go out to Conway, which is that small city just west of Myrtle Beach, you're going to be able to find more land for the price. You're west of the waterway, you're heading out away from the beach, and as I share in a lot of my videos a lot of times, I say this: the closer you get to the big blue ocean, the higher prices go up exponentially. Well, to give you an idea of this, I went online and I found some homes that are being built by D.R. Horton, one of the nation's largest new home builders, and I took the same model that they're building in a development in Conway and then compared it to the exact same house in a development east of the waterway closer to the beach. That home out in Conway was for sale for $287,000. Take that same home, go over to the beach, the price went up over $350,000. That is a huge difference in price to basically be about 25 minutes closer to the ocean. So if you're looking for something and budget is a real big factor, you might want to check out Conway. It's a great place where you can find a home for an affordable price. The second big pro of living out in Conway, South Carolina is that you're going to experience some very low property taxes. You know, the state of South Carolina has the 6th lowest property taxes in the entire country. You can get a home here in the $200,000 to $300,000 range and expect your taxes as a primary resident to be probably around $1,000 to $1,500 at top. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to share with you as well. You are going to have to pay property taxes on your vehicle each and every year when you go to renew it. Yes, just like when you go to get that sticker and registration, you pay a tax each and every year on your vehicle, and it's based on the value of the vehicle. To give you an example of this, my wife and I just recently bought a brand new minivan. That one meant that the prices went way up. Her old one was right around $170 a year. The new one, it was, I think, close to $600. Now, next year, it will go down, and it'll just keep going down from there each and every year. But if you take the vehicle taxes plus my property taxes, put them together, it's still going to be more affordable than living in places like New York and New Jersey, where you're paying $8,000 to $15,000 a year. So while you may be thinking you're just trading one tax for another one, really and truly at the end of the day, you're going to come out much better in the long run here in South Carolina. The other thing to keep in mind is this: when you're doing your property taxes, you can start to get things once you reach certain ages. Homestead exemptions are going to get you $50,000 off of the assessed value. My grandmother, who owned a home right around the $200,000 mark, her property taxes were only $350 a year. Find another place in the country where you can do that. There's not many like it. The third pro of living in Conway is the amazing and fantastic local restaurants. You know, over in Myrtle Beach, we have so many restaurants that are chains all up and down the beach. In fact, back in the day, TV 33, the local beach station, used to show the statistic that said that you could eat 3 meals a day for a year and a half and never eat the same place twice. Well, what's taken into that number is all the McDonald's and fast foods, the Red Lobsters that are all up and down the beach, the Outbacks, and those are great, but they're franchises. They're going to be just okay food. Instead, you can go out to Conway and you can enjoy some of the amazing local cuisine. You can go to places like Rivertown Bistro or the Trestle, where you can enjoy some amazing freshly baked goods each and every day. And when you go in the door, they're going to recognize you as a local. They're going to say your name, they're going to say hello, and you're going to have amazing conversations with them, unlike at the beach where you're just a number they're looking to turn and burn to get to the next guest. The fourth thing on the list that I want to talk about is that Conway just has this small town feel. When you start to come into the town, to the historic area, and coming over the bridge, you're going to see the water tower that says, "Welcome to Conway." You've got the river walk that's downtown right there that you can go and walk along. There's going to be amazing local events happening there with live music and things throughout the year. You then have Main Street, which just has this old time feel. And when you go into the shops and stores throughout that area, people are going to know you by name. They're going to recognize you as somebody who lives down the street from them. And it's just an amazing atmosphere to walk through. So you want to definitely take a trip to Conway and check it out, because it's going to be amazing. The fifth thing that's on our list of why you should think about moving to Conway, South Carolina is the amazing weather that we have here. You know, I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania, and the one thing that we could just not stand was snow. We would have snow that would come and sit on the ground for weeks and weeks at a time. That means you couldn't go outside. You couldn't enjoy the weather. You couldn't do anything except sit inside your house for basically the whole winter. So when you live in a place like Conway, South Carolina, you're going to have very mild winters. This past year, we had a snowstorm. My kids woke us up on a Saturday morning about 8 o'clock in the morning to say, Dad, there's snow on the ground. Now, my 7-year-old, mind you, this is only the second time in her life she's ever seen snow. So that should give you a little bit of an idea of how infrequent it is to find snow here. But she was so excited. So we all jumped up, got bundled in what we have as winter gear, which isn't much, went outside, threw snowballs at each other for about an hour, and then came inside. We got cleaned up, we made breakfast, ate a breakfast, and as we were cleaning up the dishes, basically all the snow in the yard was completely melted. That, to me, is the perfect snowstorm that you could ever experience. We were able to go on with the rest of our day, do our things that we had planned, and it did not affect us at all. So the weather here is awesome. And that, my friends, is the fifth and final pro of why you should think about living in Conway. Let's get into the cons of living in Conway, South Carolina. And the first one on the list, as funny as this may sound, is the weather. Yeah, I just talked about it as a pro. Well, it's also a con. Because here's the thing, when you live away from the beach, you lose the ocean breeze. And I have to be honest, when you start to get into summer months, it can be extremely hot. And there's no ocean breeze. What I found is that if you pay attention to the weather in Conway versus Myrtle Beach, it's usually a good 8 to 15 degrees warmer than at the beach. Throw on top of that the fact that the ocean breeze goes away and the high humidity's there, it can be very, very hot. So that is the number one con, the weather. The second con on our list is the beaches. You know, a lot of the reason people move down to South Carolina and here along the coast is they want to be close to the beach. Well, I hate to say it, but Conway is farther away from the beach than places like Myrtle Beach. What that means is that you're looking at anywhere from a 25 to maybe a 75-minute drive to get to the ocean, depending on the day and which lane you're taking on the road to get there. It means you're farther away. You're not as accessible to go there each and every day and sit for hours on end. But the thing that I would share is this. It doesn't matter if you're 20 to 30 minutes away because you still have to do day-to-day living. And the reality is this, 20 to 25 minutes away from the beach is still much closer than 8 to 12 hours that you currently live. So you want to keep that in mind as you're ruling out Conway because it's too far away. Really and truly, it's not that bad of a drive. The third thing on the list that I have to say is this, flooding. Yes, we do have some areas of Conway that have flooded over the years. During Hurricane Matthew, Hurricane Florence, and even the 1,000-year flood, there were some sections of Conway that had some flooding issues. It happens, and it happens in different parts here along the coast. But the thing is that it's not all of Conway. It's a small section that had issues with it. So that's why it's so important when you're thinking about buying a house here that you contact an agent that knows the area, is familiar with it, and can do the research. You know, on our South Carolina property disclosures, one of the things that's recently been added is a question asking, has this home ever had water damage? The other question that's on there is, has this home ever had a FEMA flood claim? That's going to help us to recognize real fast if this home has ever had any water issues. And we're going to check that, make sure that we're getting your home that's safe and good and awesome in Conway. The fourth thing on our list is the seasonal traffic you're going to have to deal with on Highway 501. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what part of Conway that you live in, at some point you're going to have to deal with Highway 501 to get just about anywhere around the area throughout the county. That means you're going to have to get on 501 and either head towards the beach or head away from the beach or get to one of the shortcut roads to get around. And when that comes into play that you have to get to that point, you have to make sure it's not during some of the high tourist season here in the Myrtle Beach area, because that could easily add anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to your trip each and every day. If you're someone who has a job that works at the beach, you're going to have to deal with this regularly. And that means if you're going to work for the weekend of 4th of July or Memorial Day, make sure that you're planning extra time to get to work that day and get home, because you could easily add an extra hour to 2 in high peak season. And the fifth and final con on our list, and this goes hand in hand with the 501, is that more than likely you're going to be driving to Myrtle Beach on a somewhat regular basis. Conway has a lot of amazing things, but there's certain stuff that it just doesn't have. If you're someone like me that shops for a family of 5 at Sam's Club or Costco, you're going to be taking trips into the beach regularly, because unfortunately Conway doesn't have those. They're in Myrtle Beach. Or if you're someone who flies a lot and needs to travel, you're going to need to take trips to the beach to go to the airport. Conway does have a very small airport, but it's not really for commercial flights. So you're going to be taking trips into the beach for it. Or if you have friends and family in town and they're at the beach, you're going to be traveling in to visit them, because they're going to want to do the tourist stuff that's downtown Myrtle Beach. So at the end of the day, just realize you're going to be taking trips to the beach no matter what. And it's okay. You're saving a ton of money on your house. You're getting more land. You're in a nice quiet area away from all the tourism that Myrtle Beach has to offer. And you're getting the greatness of South Carolina. So remember, guys, if you're making the move to the area, my info's down below. Shoot me an email, give me a call. I'd love to help you move to Conway or Myrtle Beach or any other part of South Carolina. I'm here to help you. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, get that bell on, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.